Hello, hello. Welcome, everybody. This is your favorite podcast, Generational Gains.
Your favorite
podcast where myself, Carson and Herlean, and my dad, Greg, talk about all things money from our different perspectives in the industry. And my strategy is super boring, too. I talk about life insurance. So we're super boring dudes talking about random money stuff. But we have a lot of fun stuff to talk to you about today. And so today, we want to talk about the industry, the market, where we're at in the world.
These are not boring subjects.
No, I'm just throwing it out there. It's just a joke.
The world thinks they're boring, but these are fundamental subjects that people like trip over, not even trip over, jump over so they can focus on their next vacation.
Yeah.
But these are the things that create vacations.
This is the foundation financially, what we teach. However, just making a joke.
I know you are, but I want to make it real for a second too.
All right. Well, thank you guys for watching us. Today, we're going to be talking about the real and very important industries that we are in and very impactful industries in your life. But what's going on today in the real estate market, in the entrepreneurship space, in life insurance, and where we feel people are struggling financially or doing really well. We're in a very interesting point in the world. You know, it's September 2025. A lot's happening, and every financial market I feel like is really weird right now. People feel weird things happening behind the scenes money-wise in the banking world too. So we want to talk about what we're feeling and seeing in the average day person and what their problems are, what we're seeing in business owners and small businesses around us. And so we are a part of a pretty cool mastermind called Boardroom. It's run by a guy named Kent Clothier, where a lot of mainly real estate investors, but other business owners as well, get together every quarter and discuss their challenges, successes, and things that are happening in their businesses and looking for guidance from one another. It's a really cool spot to go to. And my dad was able to go last week. And so he heard a lot of interesting things, heard about different problems happening in the market, and saw a theme. And so we want to start with that and share with you guys what we heard last week.
Look, our hope for Carson and I doing this podcast, I think we've got a couple goals, but one of them is to meet you where you are, to find out where you are, what you're struggling with, and hear from you. And so a lot of you will listen, and that are listening will reach out to one of us via text or a phone call or on social media, but usually via one of those things and say, hey, really like this episode. And that's what we hope for. We hope that there's some things that we are learning or we're around that maybe you weren't or missed that we can share that can enlighten or impact you, your family, or your business. And so there's definitely things that are impacting us, and that we want to be also, and I hope you guys can get this from us, vulnerable and genuine and some of the real struggles. I mean, last time our podcast, I think we call it the suffering podcast. He allowed me to be very vulnerable and talk about my sufferings in life. And so I don't look forward to hearing his suffering stories. Sadly, but truly, they are coming. He's had a few of them, but I don't think anything major. So I just want to preface with that. Like this is real. Yeah. Like what we want to share today is just a couple real things that we're seeing and feeling. Yeah. And seeing if it resonates with you, and if it does, message us or ask us questions, and would love to hear your feedback. If you feel the same, or if you feel differently, that's great too. Like God bless a different perspective on what you're seeing and feeling too. But it also feels good. I feel like when I sit in a room with other entrepreneurs, be like, hey, it is kind of hard. Certain things are a little bit more difficult right now. So last week I was with Ken's boardroom mastermind that Carson was talking about, that Carson's part of as well. And I sat with like 240 different business owners, majority in real estate and some kind of lending, but other industries as well, but mostly real estate. Mm-hmm. And I've got to tell you, first and foremost, I don't know if you guys ever feel this way, like you go into a room and you might be struggling, or in a group of people and you're like, things aren't that good. But you go in and you're like, man, everybody's crushing it. I feel kind of bad because I'm not crushing it as much as everybody else in this room. Yeah. And you feel like all this energy, everyone's pumped and hugging and like doing these big numbers. And by the way, a lot of that's happening. That being said, then we do our breakout sessions, right? Everyone breaks up from the 240 people in this boardroom in particular, this mastermind, into rooms of between, I'd say, 15 and 25 people. And then you dive deep into their challenges. Everyone has to share what's going, like what's pain, what's a painful thing you're going through. So that's when you know it's a little less of the rah, but like, hey, my family's good. I've lost 10 pounds, awesome, which is good, right? Health is critical, but then it's like, I can't get loans. My loans are maturing. I can't pay all my loans, or the market's changed. It went from 10,000 inventory to 140,000 in inventory in Florida. like serious things. People in these hot markets, things have slowed down. And so I wanted to share this because, I brought it up with Carson, what my takeaways were, but I wanted to just share, like, I think the message is, if you're not in this place right now, congratulations. But if you do feel like you're in a place right now where you are overwhelmed, or if you're a little bit upside down, or if things aren't going as fast, you're absolutely not alone. I mean, I sat in the room with people that are worth millions of dollars on paper, but their liquidity is very, very little because they're getting through some really hard times. Yeah. So I'd say that's the first thing that I saw is, like, it's definitely not all okay. And I would also share that almost everyone's message, which I like this part, it's gonna be a good next year. And I think everyone's betting on, because of rates changing, and I think they'll change even probably by the time this podcast goes out in the next week or two. Yeah. I do think rates are going to change, not dramatically this year, but next year should be more dramatic. And everyone's kind of hoping and praying that that's going to kind of change the shift in homes that are staying, unsold for a long time, no offers on. Banks that have kind of slowed down on lending. Yeah. They've got more questions. They make it more difficult. So refinancing is not as easy right now. And I feel like the pain is real. And if you're in that situation, you're not alone, first and foremost. But number two, we talked about this in the last suffering episode, like, what do you do right now? And where should I turn? And so we can jump into that in a second. But before I answer that, I just wanted to address, like, the elephant in the room. It's okay. People are struggling. I would even say, and I'll be honest when I say people, our trust company, one of our kind of weaker 60 days has been the last 60 days. It's not been as strong. People aren't as quick to move their funds from the stock market or make any financial decisions in the last 60 days. I actually think that's going to change here in the next couple months before the end of the year for our company. But just being open and vulnerable with you as well, we're trying to be more creative, do different marketing, and share a lot more education. And we want to give more so we can continue to grow our business. But personally, I feel it as well. So that being said, before we jump into kind of some solutions and some ideas, Carson, you're in the insurance business. The most, my opinion, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, the most boring, no, I'm joking. The most consistent, the most safe, the only thing you can say guaranteed on camera and get away with it, business, right? Yeah. Is death in life insurance companies. Yeah. You were in this space talking to lots of people. I'm curious, you didn't go to boardroom, but are you seeing in the last 60 to 6 months a slowdown or more pushback in what you're doing or not, and why?
Yes, it's been interesting. I meet with people every single day, the regular W-2 employees who are just trying to level up their financial life. It's a problem. I meet with a lot of people who are in their 60s who literally have 10 grand in their bank account, and that is it. And they're trying to scramble to figure out what to do next and how they can retire soon. And it's tough. People are struggling. That doesn't mean that has to do with the market today. That was mistakes probably in the past. But still, people are coming to us, young and old, who are looking for financial solutions, that they need some alternative option because what they've been doing hasn't worked, or they're worried about what's to come. They're uncertain. And we're seeing a lot of people actually who are surrendering policies. It's happening a lot because people may have thought last year, oh yeah, I could totally do this. This is a great strategy. I'm going to start saving my money in an insurance policy. I'm going to start investing with it or pay off debt with it. I'm going to be banking myself, and that whole concept they want to implement. But then they, a year into it, this past few months, 60 days, like you too, things are changing. People are not able to save as much money. People are losing jobs. People are trying to pay the smallest premium possible to keep the policy going because they don't have enough income to pay for all of it. And they're hesitant. And I also have seen real estate investors drop off. Not a lot of real estate investors are eager to be putting money in insurance policies or saving money or planning for future things. They're struggling in their business. They got no money to save. So real estate investors specifically are not our client right now and not trying to be saving money and doing these strategies. And then the regular W-2 person is trying to find a solution to prepare for these harsh events, but also past clients are struggling to keep paying premiums. So we're seeing a lot of different changes right now. And this happens every few years as the market changes. This is common. So there's always going to be some sort of turnover and failures. But still, it's more than usual. And that's what's frightening.
Yeah. I think most segments are seeing this, and I even see some car sales are, more stagnant. I think it's in a lot of industries, not all industries, right? There's always those that are more consistent, sticky, and strong industries, but we're seeing it. You're seeing it a little bit, and not all segments, but especially in the real estate segment in marketplace. So for sure. So what are we doing? I guess we should share. What are you doing? I'll start with you, actually. How long have you noticed this? Have you noticed it for a month or two, 6 months, a year? How long have you noticed what you just said?
Well, I feel like there's been people all over social media saying, we're in a recession, recession's coming, it's gonna be worse than the Great Depression. Like, I hear things like that all the time, and I have for the past 2 years, genuinely. So I feel like...
So you've been hearing it?
I've been hearing that more of the financial projection perspective, the economist perspective is saying the market's in a weird spot, something's gonna happen soon. So I feel like I've been feeling something's gonna come for a while, but I'm starting to see it now the past probably 4 months. I feel like the past quarter maybe, I'm starting to see things slow down. I'm starting to see clients stop paying premiums and things like that. So the last little bit, I'm starting to see the actual effects. And I think it's just the beginning of something. I think things will get harder for people. I do think for me, what I'm trying to do is, one, be as honest and safe for clients as possible and make them as comfortable as possible to make sure they really can easily do this strategy despite what might come soon or what might change in their life. And so I'm being more careful, I would say that. But then for my own personal sake, I'm kind of in the same boat where I'm hoping things change next year and things get better. Will they? I don't know. If rates change, will everything change? I don't know. And that's the problem, right? You never know. But that's what I'm kind of hoping for too. So I'm not investing in anything right now. I haven't bought a rental in 4 months. I'm not going to buy another one the rest of the year. I'm just conserving capital, waiting for things to change. And if that means rates drop and things get better, great. But if that means it gets really, really bad and then I have money to capitalize on even better opportunities possibly, I'm just preparing. I'm just hoarding cash.
Are you still looking for deals though?
Not actively, really, no.
Okay.
I've kind of slowed down even actively looking.
Besides slowing down on buying assets, real estate assets, is there anything personally, financially you've been doing as well? Or are you now just doing something? Or are you just doing the same thing you've always done? I'm just curious if there's anything specific you want to share that you are doing, because I'll share as well. But
yeah, I feel like I'm pretty dang dialed in with personal finances. So I don't think much has changed, but I'm just hoarding more cash and I'm putting everything in my insurance policies and just filling up all the cash value in these policies. And the reason I'm doing that is because these insurance policies, every dollar I put in there is completely safe guaranteed. So no matter what happens in the market, I'm safe. And I was talking to somebody who said during COVID, he tried to pull 20 grand out of his bank account and put it in cash just to have it in case something happened. The bank wouldn't give it to him. And so it's well, where can you put money that's actually yours and actually safe? And so I'm using an insurance policy to do that, and it's guaranteed, it's safe, and it is growing guaranteed, not a high rate, but it's growing. And so it's a comfortable place for me to store and hoard money so that I can take advantage of things in the future.
I like it.
What about you?
I've got to tell you that I feel like they've been talking about it for 2 years, but I feel like I haven't seen the effects until the last few months. But really the last 30 days, I've seen it even more.
So have you been doing anything in the past 2 years or no?
Yeah, I would say in the last 2 years I have. I've done less deals. I've definitely done less deals, but I still have done I've invested in some different deals, but I've done less of them. I double check and say no way more often. There's always a good deal. Even today, I got pitched on a really cool deal in Montana, Missoula. There's still good deals, even right now when the market's so strange. And so that's the one thing I'll tell you is don't jump just because you got some cash to do a deal because you feel like it's the best deal. I would say I've seen the best deal of my life every month for the last 8 years of my life. There's always a great deal. If you know what I mean. So don't rush to make a decision. Triple check it. Triple check who you're investing with. That's one. I would say that's one thing. I've done a little bit more in reserves. I don't know if it's cliche, but it sounds like because of what I saw and the pain I saw in some people that I know in their businesses, since then, it's only been a week, guys, so hold me to this another month, but double down on taking care of the fundamentals. So what does that mean? Again, this might sound strange. The way I'm praying is different. My relationship with God, way more important. Okay. My relationship with those that I love and thanking people and appreciating people in my life, it's been a week, right? But I really want to double down on that. And I want to double down on creativity. In the last week, I've worked more in the last week on doubling down on creativity, but also relationships. I've doubled down on thinking outside the box.
In your business?
In my business. So unique, different marketing strategies, different ideas as far as who to work with, what their messaging can be, what monies we spend on as far as marketing goes. So allocating the same dollars on marketing, but in different places. And so I've spent more time there having a clearer mind, just the fundamental personal things, and then being more creative. When I say creative, I can give you a great example. Think of your top 5 clients or where you get leads or relationships from.
Okay.
So think of them and think, how can I get them more business? What would turn the nozzle up for them a little bit more? So for me, it's they're looking for more money for their deals. Well, that's what they want. What do I want? I want them to refer me more clients that have IRAs. So what is the creative hook or creative idea to re-engage my 5 best clients so I get more business from them? And so those are the conversations I'm having with them and also with my team. And so I think right now when the market's strange, you've got to get more creative. You got to hustle your ass off, and you got to double down on the fundamentals, your relationship with your wife or partner, your relationship with your family and God. I know it sounds simple. I'm going to go back to it because I was very much impacted by doubling down on what I know works. I already feel like I'm a very present father and lover and friend, but I can do better. And same with my relationship. This is, again, I don't want to sound cheesy, but the way we talk to God. There was a guy, Steve Weatherford, at this event, who prayed for us to God, and we all knelt. We all close our eyes. And his prayer, because I feel like I pray pretty good, but his prayer, I just felt like he knew God at a different level than me. Not in a holy than thou art, but he was God, my man, you are our God. And changing that relationship, because that makes us better lover, makes us a better partner in business. It makes us a better person. And the better people we are, the easier it is to struggle through these hard times. And so that's my message that we did not prepare, nor did I even think I was going to talk about it today, but it just kind of touched me to talk about it today for a minute. So I think doubling down on those things and being way more creative. Those are my takeaways for today and what's going on.
I love it. Thank you for sharing. I wish I had something fun to share like that. That's great.
We also have a 1-month-old at home, so you're trying to double down and
get sleep.
Yeah, we went to a football game and we would stay at a hotel, and he's like, I just can't wait to fall asleep after the game and get 6 hours of uninterrupted sleep.
It's true. So that being said, thank you for listening with us today. Hope this was impactful. We always end our episodes with something to do with our family called Sweet, Sour, and Service, which is where we share a sweet, a sour, or maybe a service you did that week for somebody else. And so to wrap up today, we'll just hit one of the 3. I know we've been doing that just to wrap up, but I will end with let's go service. This morning, I went to the post office and got my new son, his passport all set up, and my wife's passport all set up. The reason that's a service is because my wife just has no idea what to do, does not want to do it, does not want to deal with it. And so I spent all the time a few weeks ago researching what forms I need to bring, how to fill things out, what I need to print out.
A lot of
work. Which things to bring, where to get the pictures. And so I gathered everything and we prepared, and then he was crying, our little baby, the whole time. So it was hilarious getting his photo all crying. But
that's a good service.
Got that all taken care of today, which was good.
Passport, guys, you're going to want to see it. It's going to be hilarious.
It's a hilarious photo of him.
I'm going to go with grateful. Sweet, sour, and service, and grateful is the 4th thing that we often will use and share is at this mastermind. I say this, I'll keep saying this, because someday when I die, hopefully Wells will watch this and get to hear what I say about Carson and Anna. But I'm super grateful for Carson and Anna. Great parents. I get to see that now more and get to see him when he's not there. I was at a mastermind boardroom, and Carson wasn't able to go. And 20 people came up to me and were talking about how great my son is, Carson. And it's such a blessing. And someone said, the biggest flex someone can have is when their kids want to hang out with them. Now, I don't know that he wants to hang out with me. I think maybe he shows up because this is a podcast. He thinks this is for business. I've got him fooled. I'm doing this so I get to hang out with him. But the biggest flex is when a kid leaves your house and wants to come back and hang out. And I'm just so appreciative of a phenomenal son who's a great example to my other kids, and a great husband, and he's got even a better wife, Anna. And so I'm appreciative and grateful for Carson.
Thank you. It's very nice of you guys. How are you?
Anyways, I hope you had a great little session with us. And I would say, look, reach out to us. We care. I care. I know the more that Carson and I can give and help and answer any questions related to anything that we can make an impact on, from insurance to real estate to God, we'll share. At least share our opinions or how we feel, and hopefully can help you as well.
Thanks, guys.